Whoa, Pavel. Thanks for popping in here for my little test stream. People have been coming in and out, but thanks for confirming the chat works. Okay. Hi, bro. How did you feel after 90 days? So, not sure if you've seen my 90-day video. It's probably the most popular one on my channel in terms of views. I break it down there with tons of benefits. I remember during that time in my life, I had a really great outlet for energy. And so I felt really great after 90 days. I did a 90-day hard mode, ended up going to about 125 days. From there, just lost a little bit of a physical outlet, and some of the energy just kind of built up a little bit too much. But I felt really good. Again, I recommend going back and watching that video. For me, in that moment, kind of contributing to that. But it was definitely a very positive experience. That was the first time I had made it that long. And when you keep things flowing, it really helps. Were you supercharged, and how with the blue balls? So first question, were you supercharged? I would say absolutely. Like it was definitely an experience where I just felt like I was firing on all cylinders. I had a lot of energy. I was taking cold showers and everything else as well. But when you have a lot of energy and you do feel like that supercharge, it really helps. It really helps to, like, you can take on things, you feel motivated. And I think one of the most important things is that you have like physical, energetic, and just like logistical momentum. And so I had a lot of momentum through that time, building up those days, building up the energy, pushing it through and things like that. And yeah, definitely felt supercharged. In terms of blue balls, so when I did hard mode, I practiced it in a way where there was no like edging or anything else like that. People do it differently. I personally don't recommend that. I think people have a problem with blue balls if they say they're trying to do a retention streak or something and they like edge occasionally and then just try not to ejaculate. I think that's where you're going to get blue balls or epididymal hypertension, So I didn't personally experience any of that because I kept it very clean mind, body. You get exposed to things, but just not indulging. So cool. Thanks for all these questions, man. Keep them coming. Anyone else is welcome to jump in as well, but for sure. Okay. How about the spirituality did you try Kundalini yoga? So, spirituality is a big aspect. I think, like, if you're open to the spiritual aspect of this, it is absolutely huge for spirituality. Not everyone goes into NoFap or semen retention or anything else with a spiritual interest at all. I did. So I can say for me, I really had, and I was also practicing Aikido, training for my black belt, which is a spiritual martial art at the time. I've now since got my black belt a long time ago, but it's a very spiritual martial art. So things like, and I've also had experience with like Kundalini yoga and everything like that. I was doing not Kundalini yoga specifically at the time, but you can definitely feel the Kundalini activate. And I really think that that's a part of spiritual retention. Like if you're familiar with Kundalini yoga, you're probably familiar with the chakra system, right? And you have the base chakra at the tailbone, and that builds up to the second chakra in the sexual center, solar plexus, heart, fifth chakra at the throat, sixth, seventh, right? And for Kundalini yoga, you're pretty much firing the Kundalini up from the base of the spine, right? And a lot of energy is accumulating there. If you continue to move the energy and you continue to have an outlet for it and don't just let things stagnate, which is why I don't promote things like edging or anything else like that, because then the energy can get really congested and stagnant in there. And you continue to like move the energy through activity, through intention, through energetic work. There's all kinds of people who teach that kind of stuff. It's not my specialty because it's different for people to people, right? It's hard to do over the internet, but definitely feel the Kundalini rising through like the chakra system. And that's why I think at, day 70, I experienced like incredible levels of bliss and things like that, because it's finally the energy is finally refining through the lower chakras, hits the heart center, and then, do the expression, and then gets to the higher chakras. And that's where like a lot of people start to get like the crazy spiritual benefits, right? Is when it gets up to the higher chakras. So I hope that answers that question there, Pavel. Yeah, but it was definitely an experience. Not sure what your, if you're new to this, if you've done a bunch of streaks, what your interest is, if you're just curious about it, but feel free to share if you want to. But yeah, it was cool. I definitely recommend that anyone who hasn't tried it for some degree of time, just to see what energy is available at your disposal. I think it's worth trying just for that, to be able to feel the energy at your disposal. And some people can't handle it very well with zero training, or some people can't handle it well because they don't have a lot of other things in place in their life and they get overwhelmed. But yeah. Okay, cool. You're heading out to the gym now. What's my profession? So I'm a personal coach. Yeah, thanks for asking. And an Aikido instructor for a long time, which is a Japanese martial art, the art of peace. So it's very compatible with this type of work. It's very much focused on high-minded type of things. And Deep Flow Dojo is kind of born out of the idea of, okay, hey, like I want to use all these things to make the world a better place. If not the world, my community, if not my community, my life. Right. So like trying to handle things you can handle. But yeah, Aikido instructor, personal coach. Thanks so much for the questions, Pavel. Hope those helped. Best of luck on your journey. Anyone else is still here, you're welcome to ask questions on this little test stream here, or say hi or whatever, So thanks again for the questions, Pavel. Go crush it at the gym, man. Thanks for stopping by. All right, Z Kofi, welcome. Thanks for popping into this desolate last second thing. I appreciate it. What book would you recommend if you're just starting NoFap and semen retention journey? Oh, okay. It would be easier for me to recommend if I knew a little bit more. So don't have to share anything you're not comfortable with. But if you say you're just starting, have you ever done a streak before? What are your goals, right? Because there are all different kinds of aspects to this, right? Like there are a lot of people who haven't gone more than a few days, like having sex or, fapping, whatever, since they were like 9 or 10. Or there's some people who have gone super long streaks, right? There's people whose culture really like clashes with it, and there's culture really meshes with it, right? So if you're just starting out and you want like motivation, there's all kinds of certain books. If you haven't, I have a NoFap literature series, and I kind of do at least a surface level dive of kind of what, right now there's 10 books on there. So what I would recommend, if you don't want to provide a little bit of more information, you want to keep that personal, that's totally fine. I would recommend going through that playlist and like seeing which one sounds motivational or interesting to you, because there are many. Like the first one, it's called Brain Gain. It's a really hard book to get. Like it's not even available most of the time. There's a free PDF for, if you go to my video number 4, and there's a playlist. You just click on my channel and you just click NoFap literature playlist. And I think number 4 on there is a free PDF. You can just go online right now and look at that if you're just looking for like the benefits physiologically, the benefits spiritually. That's kind of more the Indian brahmacharya type of take. But then there's a couple on there like Modern Biological Celibacy, which talks a little bit more about just the value of it in today's world. There's 2 books by David Data, who talks about, which is big on like masculinity and relationships with women, and then as a man, and just like the personal, like more purpose related things versus other kind of stuff. Cool. Thank you. Check my playlist. Good. that's what that playlist is for. And there's links to all of those books. They're pretty much all on Amazon. Like I said, some of them are very difficult to find, like they're limited print or they're super old. Like this one I just did the other day. It's on there, but like this is an old book. I mean, this is from 99, but it's based on like the Chinese dynasty in the 1600s and stuff, or up through the 1600s and late 900s. So perfect. Yeah, thanks for your question. If you have any more, you're welcome to them. Happy to help. Just wanted to create a space, but I appreciate your contribution to this live stream. Thanks very much. I'll wait just a few more minutes here before if there's no more questions or anything else, I will close it down. If there are more questions, I'll keep it going. No worries. Thanks for the thumbs up for the people who've given thumbs up. I appreciate it. And thanks for swinging by with pretty much zero notice. Again, this is mostly just a tech test and everything else, but it seems to be working. I'm receiving, at least on my end, I'm getting some questions. I'm answering some questions, and hopefully I can post some version of this if there's enough relevant content to help anyone out in the future. All right. And I'm just finishing up typing out this poll. But like I said, open for a little while longer if anyone else out there has a question or wants to say hi, has an idea for future stuff they'd be interested in. I am all ears. Yes, no, depends on when. All right, we got one more Kofi here. Whoa, great question. He says, one more question. Do you believe that NoFap helped your masculinity? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, and that's like the shortest answer I could possibly give is yes, right? But the long answer to that is super interesting. So if you watch I still remember that this was a benefit. So like I haven't watched that video since I made it, but if you watch my 90 days benefits of NoFap, I remember talking about sexual polarity, aka masculinity, and how it super elevated on a longer streak. And I think for people interested in trying the bare minimum to notice like an increase in masculinity that is noticeable by you and other people, especially women, is like 5 days, right? Because 5 days, the testosterone really begins to rise. It peaks at 7 days. and then drops back off again. So like really after just 5 to 7 days, which a lot of people in our society almost never get to, you know, anymore. Like people don't go several days without having sex or fapping anymore. But yes, it absolutely helps with masculinity, polarity. People can feel well, there's testosterone and then there's masculinity, right? Testosterone is a masculine, very masculine inducing hormone. When testosterone goes up, you experience a lot more benefits of masculinity, and you feel that a lot more in your body physiologically, right? But then there's also the energetic shift of being more in your masculine power, which is more etheric, right? It's a little bit more energetic based. And with the energy building up, it's also you increase your masculinity to the point at sometimes some people become too masculine to the point where they get to a point in their streak or whatever where they're a little too irritable, angry. They totally lack patience. That's almost like pushing the masculinity a little bit too far, where they're out of balance with themselves and with where they want to be in a pleasant masculine state, right? So that's a really great question. I mean, I can make a whole video just on that, because I think right now in the world, all over in the world, but especially in Western culture, the masculine feminine has fallen. The masculine is under attack, and the masculine feminine polarity has fallen out of balance to quite a degree. And so NoFap is very helpful for people who don't feel masculine but want to feel masculine. NoFap will help you for sure. But being able to fine tune that balance is really important and nuanced and easier said than done. But like I said, the simplest answer I can give your question is yes. In my experience and my belief, absolutely. So yeah, of course, happy to share it. I might make a video on that exact topic. So that's a really great question. If you have any more, I'm happy to answer them. But otherwise, you've been doing some good, it's a good thread to think on, because important thing thinking about in terms of masculinity and things like that. And the energetic component of it. So thanks for your questions, man. Like I said, if you have more, go ahead. I'll be here for just a couple more minutes and putting this post up. If not, I appreciate you stopping by and interacting and helping me confirm that I know how to do a live stream and that everything's working correctly for the next one. All right, I just posted the poll on my community tab. So if anyone's watching this video and you were the first to know, that poll is up. And if you're interested in these types of things in the future, we can figure out times that work or whatever to the best. Got lots of people from different places who might want to tune in. But yeah, if you're interested in these and you want to have just some personal questions answered, go deeper into things than I can do with videos, because the longer thing, a little bit more personalization. Feel free to ask things away or bring things up, suggest video topics. Kopi's questions were good to the point where I might make videos out of them. Because it's just a great question. It's got a lot of layers to it. The masculine feminine is a very, very difficult thing to kind of be aware of and to kind of hone in on. And this definitely helps, doesn't solve everything. It's not it's not a silver bullet, right? And I think people talk about that a lot in NoFap, and I think that's really great. insight from more experienced people is that just not having sex is not going to by itself completely transform your life, right? It's going to help you to retain and to build up energy, which can be used to help make your life better, or it can sit there and build up. And if you don't refine it, and if you don't channel it, or if you don't have some kind of use for it, then it could build up, lead to agitation, anger, and stagnation, and pain, and congestion, and all kinds of stuff. And it can end up doing, starting to help out, give you some energy, and then hits a inflection point, and then starts to be a little bit more of a hindrance, or cause pain, or put you in a nasty flat line that's actually not a flat line. It's just like, hey, there's a blockage in your energy, and you need to get things moving one way or another. And the easy way is to ejaculate, and the hard way is to learn how to break through that through other practices, or through transmutation, just through channeling it through some kind of outlet where you can get that energy flowing again and again. Talked about with Pavel earlier in this chat, just getting the Kundalini flowing up and clearing those things. So, yeah. Yeah. So super interesting topic, and one that people can misconstrue as being a little bit too simplistic. Like masculine is good, feminine is bad as a man. We have both of these in us. It's just the right balance that fits. So just going all in on pure masculine with no feminine balance at all, is almost certainly going to feel really bad, actually, because we have both of these elements within us. So yeah. Thanks for everyone who asked questions today. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for, contributing, sharing your thoughts and opinions, or questions. And I'm really looking forward to the more community aspect of this. So thanks for helping make that happen. Going to go ahead and put the poll out. I just did that. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream if no one else pops in here in the next 10 seconds or so. But I think we got confirmation that it works. Questions are coming through. You can hear what I'm saying. You can see me. And yeah. So thanks for everyone who watched this stream after the fact. Thanks for the few guys who asked questions and add that in there. Super appreciate it. And if anyone wants to add anything to the comments, if I do post this, and add some more questions there because you couldn't make this or didn't want to, feel free. Thanks for being you, everybody, and thanks for being involved.